Hello everyone, myself Mr.N.Vincent, Senior Subject Master of Economics in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling. And you are watching my channel THINKONOMICS-Study with Navarun. This is a part 2 of our video for how to excel in maths for the year 2023 in your council examination. Today again we have with us Mr. Vincent, who is the former head of the Department of Mathematics in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling. Mr. Vincent is having more than 35 years of teaching experience in different renowned schools of West Bengal. Mr. Vincent was also the coordinator of mathematics for the ICSE examination. Welcome, Mr. Vincent, in our channel, THINKONOMICS. Thank you. Sir, in our last video, we have discussed about the commercial maths. We have also discussed about the statistics. So today, I will try to take your advice so that my students, those who watch my channel, they get benefited in the section trigonometry, geometry, and coordinate geometry. So coming first to the trigonometry, council generally they test our boys and girls to prove the identities. All right, trigonometrical identities. So what are the main relations among the different identities which will be essential for our students to prove these identities? If you can help us or enlighten us.
Okay, trigonometry basically is dealing with the 6 ratios, which are called the T ratios: sine, cos, tan, and then cosec, sec, and cot. So the first 3 are called the primary ratios.
All right,
The
sir.
next 3 are called the secondary ratios. So both are mutually reciprocals, right? Okay? Sine and cosec, cos and sec, and tan and cot. So that is the basic thing. Everyone must know that. Then we have tan and cot in terms of sine and cos, you can write. Like tan theta is sine theta upon cos theta, and cot theta is cos theta upon sine theta.
Yes, sir.
So these are the basic things. And then the identities, we have mostly 3. I mean, main 3. First one is sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So cos square theta will be 1 minus sine square theta, and sine square theta will be 1 minus cos square theta. So that relation is very important. Then we have 1 plus tan square theta is sec square theta. That also we are deriving from this sine square plus cos square 1. From there only this is coming. And 1 plus cot square is cosec square theta.
Okay.
So most of the questions, or all questions mostly, I mean basically, will be based on these properties, these identities. So while solving or proving, they have to choose that side, either left hand side or right hand side, where there is more opportunities to simplify. Like if there are secondary ratios are there, change it into primary ratios. If tan and cot is there, they can change it into sine and cos. Then most of the cases it will get simplified and the required result will come out. So that is what they should be doing.
So, my dear boys and girls, as Sir said, mainly 3 things what I have understood from Sir's conversation, 3 things you have to remember. First thing is that 3 mother relation. Sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. 1 plus tan square theta
Sec square
is equal to sec square theta.
Yes.
And 1 plus cot square theta equal to cos
Cosec
square theta.
square.
Number 1. Number 2 is that if the secondary identities are given, that has to be converted into the primary one. Suppose, for example, if it is given the cot theta, then in that case, the boys and girls must make it into cos theta by sin theta. Then the sums will be easier. All right. And third thing, what I think Sir was saying is that in case you have to prove the identities, it is always better to start from the left hand side,
Either
right,
left or right,
or to
wherever
the
there
right hand
is.
side,
Yeah.
or
No,
from the right hand side.
either they can choose one of them.
All right.
Either left hand side or right hand side, where
Hmm.
there is more scope of expanding or simplifying.
All right. Okay. Okay. But definitely they will not do both the side
No,
together.
no, they are not supposed. They should not.
Uh,
They should not.
because in that case they are already assuming.
Yeah, some I have seen like LHS equal to RHS. They write first line, then they start simplifying LHS on the left hand side and start simplifying on the right hand side, putting all steps equal, which is wrong actually. They are supposed to prove it at the last step.
Yeah,
Equal.
they are supposed to prove,
Yeah.
but they are proving it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
They are proving it right from the
So
beginning.
they can either choose either LHS or RHS, then simplify, arrive at, if you have taken LHS, arrive at the RHS, or if you have taken RHS, arrive at the LHS. Then there is another method, you can take LHS separately, simplify RHS separately, simplify, show both are equal.
When in the last they will write LH is equal to RHS.
Exactly.
Alright, so this is the third one also you can do in this way as according to. So the other part of the trigonometry is from height and distance.
Yes.
Their council test to find the angle of elevation, angle of depression, and sometimes the distance between yes, the height and distance also. So is it necessary for the students to draw the diagram for this angle of elevations and for the angle of depression?
My personal advice is that it's better to draw the diagram and work on it, because you have already the diagram drawn, and based on that your diagram you can work on it faster. You know, or it's better to draw the diagram. Yes.
All right. So this is for the angle of elevations and angle of depressions. It is always better that if you draw the diagram. Diagram means it's just a straight line,
Yes,
basically.
triangle.
It's a triangle.
Triangle
Yes.
formation.
Right angle triangle.
Yes. Certain questions diagram will not be there. In that case, it is necessary. You must draw the diagram. Then only you will get a clear idea of which side you have to find, whether it is distance or whether it is height. Some problems may not be given the diagram. You have to draw the diagram in that case.
All right, sir. Sir, sometimes boys and girls they generally learn the value of 0 degree, 30, 45, 60, 90. Till this much, till 90.
Yeah.
Now, sometime in the rarest of rare, sometime the council asks, suppose in the angle of elevation has been given at 43.2 degree.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Sign this one. So in that case, they have to use the book.
Yes, you have to use the tables.
You have to
so
use
you must learn how to read. You have to get values of this trigonometric ratios of any angle. Mostly up to 90. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So in that case, just if you can say in one or two line how they will get the value of suppose sine 32. Yeah. 32 degree. Yeah. How they will get?
You have to go into the natural signs.
All right, sir.
You know, table, natural sine, natural cosines, natural tangents. Those are there. So natural sines and the extreme left column, you will see the angle degrees given. Okay.
All right.
So if it is 43 degree, then it goes into minutes, like 0 minute, then 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Sometimes it will be 6, 12, like that.
Even seconds also.
Yeah.
So
seconds maybe there is no seconds actually. The mean difference is there.
All right. Okay.
No seconds.
All right. Okay.
So it is say 43 degree. Then you have to go into natural sine, that table. Then on the extreme left, pick 42 degree or 43 degree. Then 0 minute. That first value will be 0 minute. That is 42 degree point. It's done like that.
So, but basically, students must practice.
They should know that.
This one, the sine and cos,
Yes.
Isn't it?
That is a part of the
sine, cos, and tan is a part of the syllabus, and even that will help the boys in the higher classes also, maybe in the 11 and 12. So, in the mensuration, how many marks question generally comes from the mensurations, and if you can give some kind of advice to our boys and girls that where they should give more stress so that they can get the full marks from this mensuration. This is another easier part, as the boys and girls they say.
Mensuration council is asking 8 marks. So one question is of 1 mark from MCQ. then there will be a 4-mark question in the compulsory part, that is in section A. Then one question of 3 marks, which will be in section B, which is the choice section. So 8 marks will be there in this thing, mensuration. And in mensuration, like you asked me earlier, like compared to 2022 and 2023, this time you have this thing also added, like sphere also is added. Sphere also is there. In 2022, it was not there.
Okay.
So we have cylinder, cone, and sphere. These three are there, solids.
All right.
So areas and volumes will come. Sometimes radius, everything. It can be a combination of anything. Combined solid also may be asked. Right?
All right. That melting and recasting, you are
melting and
saying.
recasting also is there. Melting and recasting, they have to understand that the volume will remain the same. So volume, I suppose a solid sphere is melted and made into small cones. So volume of that solid sphere will be equal to volume of all the cones. That is they have to equate and find out the.
There is a number of cones you are saying. How many cones will have can be made?
That question is like that. You can assume it as n be the number of cones. So n into volume of one cone.
N into the volume of one cone will be equal to the volume of the sphere.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
and this also basically formula based. Mensuration is almost all questions are based on formula. So you have to be thorough with the formulas.
All right. So just as you said that 8 marks question will come. This you are referring to something. Means you are referring to the previous year's paper or the specimen paper.
Specimen is as per the specimen.
Oh, all right. This is according to the latest specimen
2023 specimen paper.
Council specimen. All right. All right. So, my dear students, two important things for the mensuration you have to remember, as Sir said. All right. One is that from the mensuration, definitely will get 8 marks question. All right. 5 in the compulsory section and 3 in the optional part. All right. This is one thing. And the second thing, which Sir said, that you have to note it down. Please take out your pen and write it down in your exercise book. That sphere has been added. Sphere has been added in your syllabus for the 2023. It was not there in 2022, so don't follow the 2022 question pattern of the mensuration, because now sphere is also there. Please keep it in mind. Now, sir, coming to the geometry.
Yeah.
This is nightmare. This is nightmare to the students with whom I had few discussions before 2 or 3 days. And council, other than the statistics and coordinate geometry, this is another important part.
Yeah.
Near about 15 to 20 marks question comes from similarity, from circle, and from the construction. So there are different theorems are there in similarities and circle. How will the children, they will apply this one and they will remember this one? What's the process according to you?
Okay, geometry is basically of reasoning. So you have to reason it out. So all theorems, whether it is in similarity or it is in circles, theorem is basically what certain conditions are given, then the result is given. That is the statement mentioning that if this is there, then the result will be this. So they have to be very clear. Okay, these conditions are satisfied in a particular question, then they should get it. It should strike, and they should know. Okay, this will be the result according to one particular theorem. For example, I tell you, say the angle between a radius and a tangent at the point of contact will be 90 degrees. So what is given? A radius is given, a tangent is given. So it is making an angle at the point of contact. So you should realize that angle will always be 90 degrees. So if these two are there, then immediately you should know that, okay, this angle is 90 degrees. Like that, any theorem. So first of all, you have to understand the theorem. That is the most important part. Understand the theorem, what is saying, what are the conditions. If these are there, then this will be there. Okay? So understand the theorem. After that, you have to practice it. You have to practice as many questions as possible where you have to apply this theorem. It happens in the mind, actually. It is that is why I said it is reasoning.
Okay, sir.
Reasoning, yes.
So mainly, sir, as you are saying that theorem has to be understood by the students.
Yes.
They cannot mug it.
No.
All right,
no
because
mugging.
they make mistake by mugging, trying to mug,
Yes.
and then they will not be able to apply.
There will be complication.
Yeah.
Mug, yeah.
So the first thing is to understand,
Yeah.
and the second thing is to practice
Yeah.
this theorem or to apply this theorem
Yeah.
as much as
Yes.
possible.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Then it becomes much more easier
It
for
will be
them.
easier then. After that, it will be easier.
And geometry, you can score full marks. There is
Yes.
no scope of
Yes.
deducting any marks for this.
No.
So now one question, interesting question, which came from a parent. All right, and a few boys they also have asked. This is regarding the construction. All right, they say that, sir, if the construction, suppose for example, if it has been asked that draw a triangle, all right, inside a circle, all right. So do we have to write down the steps, or we do not have to write down the steps?
See, as long as it is not mentioned in the question, steps have to be written. It is not necessary to write the steps. But the construction, all the arc marks must be shown there. It should be there.
Right.
And the measurement should also be correct.
All right. Do they have
And
to...
the diagram has to be neat.
Okay.
Yeah, these things are to be there.
So if there is a over means construction drawing two lines,
Yeah.
then in that case there may be deduction of marks.
Meaning?
I am saying, if you suppose over drawing, they have drawn one arc, then again that compass was not stable, so they have
yes.
Then in that case,
that should not be there.
That should not be there.
And
they have to mention the, suppose they have drawn the base of the triangle. So in that base they have to write down how many centimeters.
Yes.
That also they have to be written.
Yes.
But steps, if it is mentioned, then only you have
Then
to
only
write.
need.
Otherwise, you do not have to write. I think, my dear boys and girls, you have understood what the sir have said. All right. Steps, until and unless it is asked, you do not have to write, but your diagram must be neat, and you have to mention, you have to write down the measurement of the radius or maybe the side of the triangle. Wherever it is applicable, you have to write down.
And the arc marks should also be there.
All right, and the arc marks should also be there. Then only the evaluator will be able to understand that you have used the compass and you have not used the scale.
Right. No, scale we can use for the protractor. Basically.
For the protector, all right. For that,
all constructions are using compass and ruler and of course pencil.
Okay. So I hope this in the geometry now you will be able to score full marks. So coming to the coordinate geometry,
yes,
quite easy.
Yes,
and at least 15 marks.
Yes.
At least 15 marks according to the specimen paper or maybe the previous year's paper.
Yeah.
So in this case, as this is very scoring, I want to give you the full. I will not ask you any questions, sir. I just want to know. I want to take it from you. That what's the process of approaching the coordinate geometry? All right, so that my students get full marks from the coordinate geometry. If you can, please elaborate.
Yeah, in coordinate geometry, we have section formula is there. Then we have equations. Then in section formula is basically to find the coordinates of a particular point, which is dividing a line at a particular ratio. That is section formula. Suppose you have to divide AB. A is the line joining A and B. 2 points A and B. Those are the endpoints. So the coordinates of A has to be taken as x1, y1. B has to be x2, y2. So that is one important point.
Yes, sir.
And if it is BA, the first point, B has to be x1, y1, A has to be x2, y2. Then mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Some instead of plus they write minus.
Okay, there is another mistake they make.
That is a common mistake which I have seen.
Okay.
mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, that will be the x coordinate.
Okay.
Then my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n, that will be the y coordinate. So instead of plus they write minus.
So just 1 minute interruption, sir, in this case. Do you prefer in this case that the boys must draw one line, and then if they write x1, x2 in the two endpoints, that will be better.
Yeah, it will be better. Yes,
It will be better.
it will be better.
Because as you are saying that sometimes it is confusing which one
Yeah.
they take as x1,
Yeah.
y1 and which
Yeah.
one to x2, y2.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. As you are
The
saying.
starting point has to be x1, y1. The outer point has to be x2, y2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then the section formula, sometimes the section formula questions can be like, need not be like directly find the point. Sometimes the point will be given.
Okay.
Or you know the point, then you may be asked to find the ratio.
Okay.
So that will also, but you have to apply the same formula, only one formula. For example, a line is cutting the x-axis. At what ratio the line will cut the x-axis? Like that question will come.
Okay.
So you know x-axis, the y-coordinate will be 0. So my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n should be 0. From there we can easily find the ratio m is to n, or the value of m by n, or m is to n you can find out. So like that, or some other point, one of the coordinates may be given. One coordinate is enough for us to find the ratio.
Okay.
So it could be like anything related to the formula. It need not be directly finding the point. Sometimes point will be given, or one of the coordinates of the point will be given. Then you may be asked to find the ratio. Or one of the coordinates of the end point is either x or a. Then the other 2 points, the point of division and the end point, those two are given. Okay. So it could be like a mixture of this thing, the application of the formula. It will come. Then in the reflection, you will ask me about reflection. One question surely will come. Yes. Reflection on the x-axis, y-axis, origin, and a line parallel to the x-axis or parallel to the y-axis. Yes, these are the cases. So you must, it's very easy actually, the object point and what is the relation. When the object point is given, what will be the image point if it is reflected on a particular line, either x-axis, y-axis, or on a point with the origin. You know, then it could be a line parallel to the x-axis or y-axis. So that you must know actually clearly. Then what happens when you are using a graph paper? You can plot the given points first correctly. That is one mistake I have noticed. That yes, sir, while plotting the point, the given point, they make mistakes. So plotting part has to be correctly done first of all. Right. The original points which are given. Then you can either reflect it, write the reflected image, then you plot it. That way also you can do it. Okay. Or you can plot it by construction also, you can plot it on the graph itself. You can plot it. If a line is there, you are given a point, then the same distance should be behind the line. This is the applications of the physics. Yeah. Huh? Like mirror. Yeah. Yeah, mirror. That's object distance is equal to the image distance. All right. Yeah.
So now coming to some general question. Yeah. So coming to some general question. Working, all right, or as we call, sometimes we call it as a rough work. Yes. Will it be on the right hand side, yes, or will it be done at the back?
No, it should be along with the answer. Essential working has to be shown along with the answer on the right hand side.
All right, yeah, all right. So please keep it in mind. This is one mistake. All right, here's one mistake that our boys and girls they do, is that they want to do it at the last. But it will be disadvantageous for them. Yeah. Because by chance, if they don't write the
answer,
yes, then the evaluator will not be able to tally.
The essential working. Suppose you have a very long multiplication, that you can do anywhere. But the essential working, for example, if you are doing a question, solving an equation, quadratic equation using formula, so basically you have to write the formula, then put the values of A, B, and C. All those things should be shown. You can't work it out somewhere else and directly write the answer.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Yeah. So, just one more clarification our students need is that decimal. How many places after decimal? 1, 2, 3?
So, normally it is correct up to 2 places over decimals. So, you have to find the third number also to correct it up to 2 decimal places.
All right. So, yeah, they will generally do 3 places and will round off to 2 places.
Otherwise, in the question, it will be mentioned.
All right. So, if it is not mentioned, you are saying to do it 3 and convert it into 2. And if it is mentioned, then they will do it according to that. All right, sir. So, now coming another mistakes. All right. Another mistakes is that students, while writing the units, will they write it in the way of, suppose, centimeter per second, or they will write it in the word centimeter, centimeter centimeter per second. They will write it in word.
No, never in words. Like you have to use. If it is meter per second, meter slash s. Like
All right. So it will be meter slash s. That will be the way, not meter per second in word. All right. This is the third one. Start graph. All right. Many graphs. Ojai, they give either histogram, they give reflection. So if a boy or a girl want to do, he can do at least 3 graphs. Which one is better, graph or the other sums? Why I am asking you sir this question, because graph is easy to score, but as the boys and girls have complained that graphs takes a lot of time, and sometimes they fall under the pressure and are not in the position to complete the paper.
Well, that's a very subjective. Like graph. If they can do it like time, like taking the time, adjusting the time, then it is okay. They should do graph, because graph less chance of making mistakes, and it is scoring also. Then they can go for other questions. That is what I feel. But overall, generally, I hear this complaint like I didn't get
Yes,
the question was very lengthy.
True, exactly.
That is one thing. They must learn to adjust the time. That is very important. Whether it is graph or whether it is other questions. So that comes by practice only. So you need to practice this question paper, sample question papers, specimen papers also, and learn to adjust the time. That is very important. But graph, I think they should.
So graph is better, you are saying. That is scoring. If they can, they will get the full marks from here. So now, with the 4 months in the hand, you being the subject expert, all right, being the coordinator of the maths exam, what will be your suggestions for the boys and girls for their approach for the mathematics exam of 2023? What will be their way to get 100 upon 100 in maths?
Yeah, first of all, let me tell you, like there are some students, they have a sort of inhibition, saying they themselves see that maths is difficult for them. So they should get rid of that mindset.
Okay, sir.
First of all, they have to convince themselves, okay, I am going to do well in maths. I am capable of doing it, getting 100 upon 100 also. Then secondly, understand the concept thoroughly, then practice. Understand each chapter, the concept thoroughly, and practice at least 2.5 hours a day.
All right.
Practice.
At least you are saying at least one test paper has to be solved, if possible.
Yes. At least one. At least.
All right. So that they do not have any problem of that 2.5 hours sitting in the maths exam.
Right.
That phobia will go.
Right. That phobia has to go.
Yes, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Maths is basically.
Phobia is blocking them.
Yes.
That is very important.
True,
Yeah.
sir.
So let them convince themselves first.
Okay.
They are good in maths,
So they are.
Start working.
Okay. They have to believe in themselves.
They believe in themselves.
They are. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for helping our students for 2 consecutive days. I hope, my dear students, they have benefited from sir's advice. We will definitely take sir's advice before the ICSE examination once more. The last minute, what will be the way of preparation, what should we do, what the boys and girls will do, what they will not do. But again, if you like our channel, if you like my channel, THINKONOMICS-Study with Navrun, please do share how to excel in English, how to excel in history, how to excel in maths, so that all our boys and girls get benefited from our channel. We, the shareholders of this THINKONOMICS channel, promises you to bring more subject expert in our channel to help our boys and girls to excel in the different subjects of ICSE examination 2023. Thank you very much for being with us. Namaskar and Jai Hind from Navrun Mandal.